welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm your astrologer and tarot card reader, Mary Trimble, here with your readings for December the 9th through the 15th. What an incredible celestial sky we have this week. A lot is going on, but that's for the astrological report. So if you're new, welcome. I really hope you enjoy these readings and that you will return. And if you are returning, thank you so much for your loyalty, support, and love. Now, these readings are for the collective, guys. So take what resonates and leave the rest. And if you would like a more tailored, in-depth personal reading, then click on this link here and that will take you to my website and you can take a look at the kind of readings that I offer. Now, these readings are for your sun, moon, and rising. So if you know your sun, moon, and rising, then check out the other readings. All the links will be in the description box below. It'll say show more. You click on that, or if it's on a telephone, it'll have a little arrow pointing down, and that will open up the links to everything. I have a Facebook group, guys, and every 2 weeks I do a live feed in that group, which correlates with the new moon or the full moon. It is a private group, so you just have to click on the link below and request to join, and you'll just have a couple of questions that you have to ask. That's it. So yeah, well, whoever shows up for the live feed, then I look at the horoscopes and their sign and see how you are receiving the energy from the new or the full moon, respectively. So I'll be doing one this week coming up for this full moon in Gemini. So we have lots of fun there. It's really cool. Now, another way to support this channel, other than likes and shares and comments, which I really appreciate, guys, check out my Patreon page right here. I post things on there that I don't post anywhere else, or sometimes I preview them there before I make them public. So you can support me for as little as $1 a month, which is what, $12 a year, which is not a lot, but it's a lot for me. I can do a lot with that. And if you can't, that's fine. Just like, share, comment, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Lastly, these readings come in 3 sections. There's this section, which is the intro. Then there is the astrology report. And then after that is the tarot reading. I have the skip stamp times for each section below, right above, directly above all the links to the other videos. Sometimes that will be there straight away, but sometimes it takes me a minute to get all the links up. So bear with me. I have to upload all the videos first, and then I can put in all the links. So guys, without further ado, let's go to the astrology report, shall we? Hello and welcome to the astrology report section of your reading for December the 9th through the 15th. So gosh, there's so much going on. We start off with Monday, the 9th of December. Mercury moves into Sagittarius. It's going to feel like a breath of fresh air because Mercury has been in Scorpio since October the 3rd. You know, it's been there for over 2 months because of the retrograde. You know, it was just about to come out and then it went retrograde. So it has been a very long journey. And it's in Scorpio, we had to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves, you know, and some of us are still shaken up by that, by those revelations. We will go from these deep, intense and detailed oriented thoughts and conversations to the bigger picture, a little bit more scattered and perhaps saying things without much foresight. So we can kind of, you know, there's very little filter between thought and mouth. It's just zoom, it just comes out. Mercury moving into Sagittarius is going to lighten the mood. We'll feel lighter, we'll feel more optimistic and more joyous. When Mercury is in Sagittarius, our thinking shifts from this need to dig deep into any given situation or topic to the desire to learn about everything. It's like we want to know everything. We want to learn. So we see this, we want to learn about it. We see that, we want to learn about it. We're like excited about deepening our education or knowledge. So our thinking becomes more optimistic, our faith becomes stronger and increases, and we are more idealistic. We're more concerned with what is fair and what is not. But under this influence, with Mercury in Sagittarius, we may not always make the right choices. Now, Mercury and Sagittarius don't exactly get along. Mercury represents our thought process and intellect, communication, whereas Sagittarius can jump to conclusions, seldom listens, and can be a bit impulsive. This transit can be challenging when it comes to communicating with others. We may be more optimistic and joyful, but we also have a tendency to make decisions based on assumptions, which can cause catastrophic errors in judgment. So be aware of this tendency and slow down. Resist the urge to make decisions before talking it over with trusted friends or family members. Remember, don't assume anything until you have all the facts. Resist the urge to jump to conclusions. Now, Wednesday, December the 11th, Venus conjuncts Saturn in the early hours of the morning. This aspect is challenging for love and finance. Your relationships could go through a lack of connection or lack of emotion. A stable relationship can weather this storm, but if your relationship is on rocky ground or unstable legs, it may not survive. If you meet under this influence, there could be a significant age difference and probably will be based on practical considerations rather than a partnership rather than a love match. This transit can also affect your finances and you could find yourself strapped for cash. So planning ahead might be prudent at this time so that you won't be in this predicament again in the future. Now, Thursday, December the 12th, we have the full moon in Gemini at 12:12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's talk about the significance of the number 1212, 1212. This is the 12th month, and on the 12th day, we have the full moon at 12:12. How crazy is that? Well, this is a very significant number in numerology. It represents the highest vibration. It's a connection to the higher self or the light body, spirit guides, and it's the ascended master's frequency. So if you keep seeing this number, like I have been seeing this number a lot over the last few months, particularly, it's more and more frequent for me. You are connecting to that light, or you're being urged to connect to it. It's the new earth awakening vibration. It's that frequency. It's very high. So this is an incredible opportunity. It's almost like a portal has opened up for this, because so this is about change. So not only do we have this full moon, and as most of you know, the full moon is when the sun and the moon are opposite each other. It's actually the sun's light that illuminates the moon. It's the sun feeding the moon, if you like. So the moon is in Gemini and the sun is in Sagittarius. And full moons are about culminations and endings, crescendo coming to, it's change, right? It's endings and beginnings. Gemini is about the intellect. It's about the thought process, the spoken and the written word. It's about books and about learning, right? While Sagittarius is about spirituality, adventure, and higher learning. It's kind of a higher octave of learning. And it's about optimism. Now, at the same time as this full moon, there is a T-square, what we call in astrology a T-square. And that T-square is to Neptune. So that means that Neptune is square to both the sun and the moon. This is a challenging aspect, right? Squares are tension, and they're kind of motivating, if you will. Now, the lowest octave of this energy is the monkey brain, right? That's what will be highlighted, what we call in meditation the monkey brain. It is that unconscious chatter in the background that's constantly going, that's there all the time, and perhaps sometimes we're not conscious half the time. Some of us aren't conscious of it at all, but some of us are awakening and hearing that voice in the back of our heads that is saying, you're not good enough, you'll never do it, you're too old, you're too young, you're too fat, you're too thin, you're too ugly, you're too dumb, you'll never make it. Oh, look, see, there you go. You've done it again. It's that kind of energy. And it's that. So the antidote to that is meditation. Meditation quietens the monkey brain. So listen, we may be too idealistic or perhaps even deceptive. That's the lower octave of it. We may be overly sensitive and we may take things personally. This full moon will shed a light on the truth and will bring something from the unconscious into the conscious. Maybe make us aware of what we're thinking and how we feel about ourselves, or how we're allowing this monkey brain to dictate how we feel about ourselves, right? Now, meditation, I always say this, if you've watched me before, meditation isn't about controlling your mind, but it's about not allowing your mind to control you, not dictating our actions according to our monkey brain. The higher octave of this energy is that we connect to higher energies, to that light, that 1-2-1-2 frequency, right? Because the veil between the worlds with Neptune at play becomes very thin. So we are able to communicate with spirit in the ethereal realm. It will empathize with the suffering and the plight of the less fortunate around the world. And it's imperative that we conduct ourselves with honesty, kindness, and integrity, and that we keep a positive mindset. It's like visualize the manifestation of your dreams and wishes, practice that. The energy surrounding us right now is really fast and furious. All the planets are traveling direct and they're picking up speed. So they are going full force. It's like we're on the express train to 2020. So we are manifesting our beliefs at an incredible speed. So it's really important to make sure that you are in the I can and will mindset as opposed to I can't or won't attitude. Now, I haven't finished, guys. There's more. On Friday, December the 13th, Mars trines Neptune. Now, with Mars trining Neptune, your sensitivity and creativity is stimulated. It creates a magnetic, attractive, and sensual charm. which is ideal for romance, you know, inspires a spiritual connection with romantic partners, whether you're in one or you're meeting one. It feels so right. This aspect can also spur an urge to stand up for the underdog or a human rights cause. Anything that you feel is unjust, it's like you will be moved by that. Although this isn't an aggressive energy, it will give you the courage to fight for the rights of people, animals, or the environment based on moral and ethical values. It's very idealistic, but very action oriented. So you want to get up, you want to stand up, you want to do something tangible for what's going on in the world. We're seeing it around the world. People are getting more and more involved in protests. Look what's going on in Hong Kong. Anyway, so also on that day, Venus is conjunct Pluto a couple of hours later, right? What is it? 4 hours later or 3 hours later. So you're going to feel this is kind of energy that's around now. This brings a need. It brings in the need for a deeper and more meaningful connection with your partner, or indeed, if you're single, the longing to fall in love. The desire is so strong that you may manipulate others, even engage in atrocious behavior like stalking or spying on your lover or partner, going through their emails or their phone or their bags or their coat pockets and things like that, and surreptitiously. It's not good. Spying on people, tracking their phones and their computers and things like that. It's really not okay to spy on anyone. It's not. It will actually create the opposite of what you desire. It will push someone away because everyone inevitably gets caught doing that kind of stuff eventually. So it's important to resist the urge to control and allow things to play out, even if the result is not what not to your liking, because karma is attached to this energy, and we must play it with honesty and integrity. We must, come from a higher perspective or a higher energy. If you meet someone during this transit, you could jump in over your head and become infatuated or even obsessed, which can spur the behavior I've just highlighted, So take it slow. Keep your friends in the loop and confess the temptation to manipulate or do anything that's kind of nefarious or underhanded or sneaky, so that they can talk you out of it. Now we move on to December the 15th, Jupiter trine Uranus in the afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a wonderful energy, guys. Fabulous surprises and wonderful opportunities could pop up out of the blue. Small miracles kind of thing, that kind of thing. It's like, oh, wow. Serendipity encounters with influential people can happen. It's a time to take risks, actually, and push the boundaries, of how far you can go in a good way. It's a lucky day. Actually, it lasts for more than a few days, but it's the most intense on Sunday because that's when the aspect is exact. So what a lovely day to end the week on. So without further ado, let's go to your tarot card reading, shall we? Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to the tarot card section of your reading for December the 9th through the 15th, and it's still your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, all you Sagittarians. Happy birthday to you. I know too many Sagittarians. I don't want to miss anyone else. So happy birthday to you all. This is for Sagittarius. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Sagittarius for this coming week of December the 9th through the 15th? Oh, look at that. That's one card. Two more cards for Sagittarius, please. Oh, there you go. And one more card for Sagittarius. There it is. Okay, there's crossover. Oh, you got two more cards. There's definitely crossover here, Sagittarius. So interesting. Very, very interesting. So now let's go to the clarifying cards for Sagittarius. These are clarifying cards for Sagittarius. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Sagittarius through these clarifying cards for this coming week? Please clarify. Oh, there's one. Please clarify. Oh, two came out there. And please clarify. There it is. All righty then. Okay, Sagittarius, let's take a look at your card, shall we? Okay, the first card out for you is the Justice card. Clarifying the Justice card is the Eight of Pentacles. Then you have the Eight of Pentacles in the other deck, clarified by the Three of Swords and the Seven of Wands. Then you have the Six of Swords right next to the Six of Pentacles, clarified by the Ten of Pentacles. Very interesting. Okay, so here we go. Sagittarius, the first card out for you is the Justice card. I feel that this has been represented a lot in many readings. So I feel that if you have some litigation on, that's happening right now, something that's going on, it can be anything, an insurance settlement, it can be whatever it is. It can be housing, it can be child support, something like that. I think that you will, the Justice card, the Justice card is connected to karma, right? So when it shows up in a reading, it's going to go in your way as long as you've been above board, honest, and upfront, and you've kept your side of the street clean. It's very important to move forward with integrity. And then this arbitrary decision that you've been waiting for is going to come down in your favor. Now, I feel though that you kind of have to prepare for this a little bit, because the Eight of Pentacles is like the Apprentice card, and it's about really focusing on the situation at hand, learning everything you can about, get all your paperwork involved. It's sort of doing all the background work to support this process that you're going through. Now, it can be something like waiting to hear about a job. It can be something simple like that. It's some decision that's going to affect your life that you're waiting for it to come down. So I feel that you really have to kind of prepare for this. and do all the work in the background. It requires some legwork. And when I say legwork, I mean real, poring over documents and getting the right things together and dates and just having everything kind of organized so that you can present it to the court or the people. It can be a resume for a job or something like that. But it can, for some of you, I'm really getting that it's litigation. And the next card is the Eight of Pentacles again in a different, in this other deck. And you see this guy really working hard on his craft, really being in the moment, totally focused, laser focused on creating this beautiful coin. So, the apprentice card can mean going back to school. Maybe this could be, are you going to be accepted into school? Perhaps, will you get in? Some of you might be trying to get in on a scholarship or something like that. You need to get all your paperwork. But this can really mean going back to school, traditionally, or taking a new course of study, like learning something really new, but in depth and really focusing. So this is a wonderful time, actually, to learn something. This is a wonderful energy. You've got the sun in Sagittarius, which is the higher learning, right? And you've got Uranus playing a role in here, which is the higher octave of Mercury. And Mercury also just, moving into Sagittarius. So this is all about, and it's been in Scorpio for so long. Mercury moves into Sagittarius. This is it's about learning. Mercury is about learning, it's about school, whereas Sagittarius is about, university, right? So this is an opportunity to really focus on something new to learn. We'll be able to grasp it too. I think there's going to be a wide variety of interests anyway. You might want to study lots of things, but I would say focus on one particular area. Now, you have two cards clarifying the Eight of Pentacles. One is the Seven of Wands, which is standing up for what you think is right. We have this energy that's coming in. That's all about, is really about Mars trine Neptune. So it's that, that impetus, that energy, that wanting to fight. It's not an aggressive energy, but you want to fight for what's right. And it's almost getting connected with the suffering around the world and being outraged. And, it hurts us. It's a very sensitive time. So our heart's broken by some of the things that are happening around the world. It's really feeling that. It's feeling that pain. And it's going to inspire us, right, to stand up and fight for what's right, for what's fair, for doing the right thing. When I say fight, I just mean, perhaps you want to, bring a cause or a humanitarian issue, or perhaps, animal welfare, whatever it is, or the environment. Whatever you feel really strongly about, it's about taking a stand for that. It's about standing up and being counted and saying how you feel and fighting for the rights of others, or for people that can't fight for themselves, because this is really hurting you. It's really painful to look. It's painful for all of us, really, to look at what's going on around the world. The young kid, a 16-year-old dying of the flu. I mean, that's tragic in custody. Anyway, don't get me started, because then I get all teary-eyed and upset and my heart is broken from what's happening in the world. So this is an energy that's coming in, that unfairness, because our thoughts and our concerns are around what's fair and what's not fair. And we are seeing that to huge degrees. I mean, around the world, we can no longer, truths are coming out, listen, things are coming up. It's Pluto playing a role, like, the other leaders of the world making fun of our president, that came out, we heard that loud and clear. We're hearing lots of things. We're seeing lots of inappropriate behavior, the abuse of power around the world. And it's just things are coming up on what we call a mundane level, which is, global governments. And actually all this energy in Capricorn is all about governments, right? And then this is about us standing up. Don't stand down. Stand up for your values. Don't compromise your values. Be heard. Don't be the silent voice. It's like, let people know how you feel. And then you have the next cards out are the there's the swords, the Six of Swords. This is about moving on from something. I feel that you have to move on from something. And perhaps it's a situation that you need to let go of. This is like kind of running away in the middle of the night, cloak and dagger kind of thing. It's very kind of surreptitiously getting out. I feel that you are getting the help that you need. Something is going on with you, and I have a feeling that it might even be financial. It's so interesting. Look, there's this kind of a yellow cloak, and it's off to the shoulders now, right? And money is being given. I feel that, look, I think you may have been in some financial situation and you need to move, you need to take a trip in order to sort this out. So there's some kind of money at play here, and you need to do the legwork to get this, to get it sorted. Don't compromise your values. Stand up for what is rightfully yours, and you will get the help. But you kind of have to do a bit of the lead work, Sagittarius. And look, this is the payoff, the Ten of Pentacles. You will, if you stand up for what is rightfully yours, you will get paid. You'll get what you need. So yes, I'm kind of seeing that you need to do the groundwork. So if standing up for what's rightly yours means taking a trip, you need to get in that boat and go and do it. You need to get on it. Get on it, because it's imperative that you do that. Stand up for what's yours. It's yours, darling. Don't let that go. If you don't, you'll be really brokenhearted. Whatever, this is the service card. So maybe you need to take a trip to be in service, to fight for others who can't fight for themselves. But whatever it is, when you take that action, you will reach, it will be a good outcome. It's an auspicious outcome because you've got the 10 of Pentacles. So that's, abundance. Sagittarius, thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video, share it on social media with your friends, family, co-workers, and comment. I answer and respond to every comment. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Mwah! I love you all, and I'll see you next week.